Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builder Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Schlage number 40-017. This is what's called a castle nut wrench, and this is used on the AL series and the, well, they list it as the D series lever, because once upon a time it was just the D series as a lever, and then sometime in the 90s the ND series became levers in the D series, and then the new D series, and then the D series is just knob trim now. So if you were looking for a D53 in an orbit, it wouldn't be an ND53, it would be just a D. If you're looking for a Rhodes, it wouldn't be a D53 Rhodes, although initially it was, especially when ADA was initially passed, or was going to be enforced. Passing it and then enforcement, there was a span of phasing it in, because they passed it but they couldn't enforce it because they had no enforcement people really ready to start enforcing ADA. So there's a period in the first half of the 90s where Bush signed it, and then 2, 3, 4 years later it was being phased in, and then now enforcement is of course ubiquitous. Naturally, it's federal law. So originally it was a D series. Well, this castle nut wrench would have come with that D series Rhodes, and this is technically now discontinued. They've replaced it with a plastic version, and it's just such a shame. I bet all of us who have installed hundreds of these AL series locks would have kept, or those ND or those D series with these metal wrenches would have kept them, because they're quite durable. The plastic ones, of course, you can over torque those pretty quickly, or where the pediments, not pediments, the term might be crenellations in the parapet sort of castle. You can see why they call it a castle. The crenellations in the parapet area at the top of a castle, on the plastic version, they will wear down. If you've got 100 locks to install, but it's a nice tool to have if you deal with Schlage locks. If you're, you may have hundreds or thousands of these locks installed on a university campus, maybe a Big Ten university, and yeah, you've got thousands of doors, period, or more, probably more than thousands. So this wrench is used to tighten down what's called, of course, the castle nut. Real easy way to go about doing that, because the shaft of the lock has to go inside of here, and then you just tighten that down, that castle nut, which has perforations or ridges around it so that you can tighten it and it will stay in place. Let's switch quickly to the screen view where we can take a look at some supporting documentation. So this is the item that we're looking at. Okay, supporting documentation would be under the manufacturer's page here, where you can pull up not only all of the Schlage products that we sell, but a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog. But it's the service manual that we're going to dive into right here. And that document will load, and it's, I already have it loaded on the next page, but that document is, about 1,000+ pages worth of service manual supporting documentation. Well, if you were to do a find function in your keyboard and then type in 40-017, it doesn't show up anywhere in the document at all. And to really find a reference to it, we can search for wrench, and you're sure going to find different instances of the term wrench. None of these apply to what we're dealing with here, because the new D series locks don't use this castle nut wrench. So wrench doesn't work. Let's try castle. Okay, castle nut, of course, in the AL series. Yeah, right here. So using the wrench provided, unscrew inside and outside castle nut bushings. So this is the 40-017 right here. Okay, we continue to search through. Again, there's our tool. They're showing it. They're just not, they're just not, here's the assembly procedure where you're going to, in step C, the castle nut goes on. Then what would happen is that you would then tighten it with the castle nut wrench. retighten, castle nut with installation tool. So this is the 40-017 that they're referring to. So no direct evidence of what this wrench is, but that's definitely where it's used. Back to the manufacturer's page. This is a very handy page because it will allow you to review not only the aforementioned resources, but other resources like the Primus service manual. The Everest service manual is right here. Okay. Templates are going to be here. Master template index, key systems answer book. Okay, just if it's related to Schlage, this is the page where we will put it. Small format cores service manual. You know, if you get into doing small format and Schlage is your system of choice, you know, here's everything that Schlage publishes about this system. Okay, they have a very interesting variant of the small format, which is called the SL, which does not use its similarity is only in that it uses the A2 spacing and depths for its structure. Outside of that, it doesn't have a real similarity to a small format interchangeable core. It just uses those A2 systems, system specifications. But if you want to learn how to do small format, you know, I don't know that I would necessarily learn it from a Schlage book. I would probably learn it from a Best book, the company that Frank Best invented the small format platform. But nonetheless, the logic is the same. The steps that you go about are the same. So there you go. Let's wrap up this video on camera. In conclusion, all things Schlage do eventually get discontinued. Eventually they will. Someday this wrench will no longer be used. It's been phased out and replaced with the plastic lever. You know, so if you have some AL locks, you may want to throw one or two of these in your toolbox. Although they don't really they've discontinued some of my absolute favorite locks ever of all time. The B400 deadbolt, the E series grip. They, you know, discontinued these phenomenal locks. But the B250 latch bolt, which is a 12-105 maybe, or 150. Anyway, the latch bolt for that B250 slam lock, that was the latch bolt used on the EB series. That EB series came out mid-century, you know, mid-20th century, 1950s. You can still buy that latch bolt in 2020 that worked on a lock that was put in 1950 Elvis, you know? So they don't discontinue everything, but they are responsible for discontinuing some of my favorite locks. So I guess the moral of the story is get this while you can. Any questions on the 40-017 Castle Nut Wrench or any other Schlage product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.